3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, thank you for listening to and or watching Teddybears and Tentacles podcast, episode number 37. My name is Quinn. I am the host of this beautiful spaceship known as a podcast, and I have with me today haircutted up Skinny Rick.
I got that short boy cut.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's kind of got a little spikiness going.
It does. I've been having to fan it out because my hair has just decided, because I don't put product in my mullet, dude. Yeah. I don't do that.
Yeah. No, that's some Joe Exotic right there.
My hair has just decided that it's going to naturally just do this.
Yeah.
And just slowly work its way into the middle. And I don't like it because it makes me look like, maybe I'm early 2000s or something.
Yeah.
Which I like the music from then, but I don't like the hair.
Well, I'll tell you right now, you'd be a prime candidate for a GW Zoo internship.
Dude, it's getting long, in the back.
Yeah, it is.
I'm trying to grow it out. It's starting to look a little bit more redneck than it was before, but I think there's more freedom.
Yeah.
And by freedom, I mean the actual idea of freedom is encapsulated in the mullet. So the longer it is, the more liberty you're representing.
Flows out of the back of it.
A little, maybe one day I'll catch an eagle
and
flying out of
it'll
back.
probably nest in it, really. Yeah. And so look, today we also have producing Dylan Puckett.
Yay, what's going on? It's funny that you say that you don't want to look like early 2000s when your body is literally an early 2000s model.
Yeah, dude, I've got that limited edition.
Yeah. Whatever that
one
is.
of a kind, limited run, one time only.
I got that
early 2000s model.
I don't know what this is, but I got it, up in here.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of extra cheek hanging out up here.
Yeah. Out the back.
Just like junk is funny.
Well, dude, today we're going to have kind of a quick-ish one.
Since I talked for 30 minutes and I didn't know we were rolling
beforehand.
I didn't know we were. I thought we weren't rolling, so I just kept talking.
No, dude, we
were talking about some homeschoolery before this.
Yeah, dude, we got our merch finally. Not our merch.
Yeah,
we bought this merch.
Yeah, we got the Fighter and the Kid merch, and we bought it. Check it out.
I got that Brandon Showers.
Yeah, do a shot of me, doing this. And now do a shot of Skynrick doing whatever he's doing, and we're gonna send this to
I feel like I could do
we're gonna send this to the Fighter and the Kid.
A Billie Eilish maybe.
Yeah, so we're gonna do it.
Am I doing it right?
Let's do this is the official TFATK merch review. So I got the spicy tie-dye hoodie. It feels good. It's comfortable. It fits good. What you got?
I'll tell you what. I like how comfy it is. I like the color. The print feels nice. I like that is this the copyright symbol?
Yeah.
I didn't realize you could copyright boy, but
I think thick boy is the copyright.
Maybe they got the 3 C's. I don't know. I like it. I especially love when my hoods kind of sit. Like like they don't know if you can't tell if I'm wearing it or not. Yeah. Like if it's up on my head or if it's on my shoulders.
Yeah.
I like that. I like it to stand up a little bit and it's doing it.
Yeah. And so there is
the only thing is I wish that their aglet game was stronger. We got these tiny aglets. They're sturdy, but they're small.
Yeah.
So that's the only negative I have on the whole thing is the aglet game needs to be a little bit better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm fine with the aglets. I'm also
yours has the classic.
Yeah. Oh, I got one of the T-shirts too, which you can't see, which is also comfortable.
I hear it's comfy. I haven't worn it because it's yours, but
all the stuff is good quality, and I'm glad it is good quality because quality matters, dude. Unlike another unnamed guy with a mullet that he uses cheap stuff, and that's fine because we're from the same place.
I can't say that
support him anyway.
I have one.
Yeah, but
I will say
5 out of 5 on the merch. Fighter and the Kid.
I will say that unnamed mullet wearing beautiful man has some amazing wrestling or UFC I'm assuming it's supposed to be UFC
I think it's
inspired
yeah.
stuff that I got for Christmas.
Yeah.
And also a keychain.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. So shout out to all of those guys. 5 stars on the Fighter and the Kid merch.
Yes. Buy it.
Yeah. Buy it. Sell it. Resell it.
Buy it and give it to me, dude. I mean, really.
Yeah. Buy it and give it to buy it to give it and give it to Skinny Rick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look, today we have we're gonna do
a gift card or something.
Yes, a Fighter and the Kid gift card.
Yeah.
So today I wanted to do something that I don't know a lot about for some reason because it's right up the alley of things that I would know a lot about. But we're gonna learn about the Waco, Texas siege / massacre or whatever you want to call it. This is one of those things that, you know, it kind of flies around like media. Go ahead.
I think I have heard of this. We were talking about it before, and I can't.
Before we really get into it, I can't believe you didn't ask me how I was doing.
Oh, how are you? How's everybody doing? Well, we're running.
No, it's all good. I'm just messing.
Sorry, dude.
No, I get after it, man. I'm doing good.
I do have something to talk about at some point that I just thought of.
Okay, let's do this first, and then we'll talk about that stuff at the end.
Because I am very interested in this.
Yeah.
I feel like I have heard about this, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, if they come to take Joe Exotic's Tigers, it's going to be a small Waco.
Yeah, that's what he said, dude. So I guess, you know, the thing.
I hope he's training them to like fight.
He probably will.
I mean, honestly, could you imagine?
I saw a video. Hang on, real quick. I saw a video of Joe Exotic. Some guy, like a journalist, went and like hung out with him or something a while back, and he has a tiger cub and a bear cub in the same cage, and the dude's like, "Is this
same?
Yeah, is this something you're supposed to do?" And he's like, "Well, I figure 2 species that normally wouldn't get along if you put them together from whenever they were babies, that'll be a powerful group of predators." And it's like the guy's like,
"It's true."
The guy's like, "Yeah, it definitely will be."
Yeah.
Like,
oh man, could you imagine some? Man, if you could get them things together, could you imagine a tiger bear hybrid, bro?
Well, dude, I'll tell you what.
That'd be pretty crazy.
Bears scare me.
Yeah,
dude, I was watching a video
of
like animal attacks, and it popped up that one where that guy's on that bike. No, he's on a bike trail, and he starts getting chased. And I mean, and he eventually like comes up on this. It's like a downed tree on the trail, and he can't like ride over it, so he literally like throws his bike down and goes and like hides, and he's got it all like on his little like GoPro camera, and he's hiding behind this tree.
You remember that
from the bear, and then eventually the bear's like, it just like runs off, and it's so like
bears.
This dude, he goes for a long time, and this bear's just coming after him.
What type of bear was it?
Brown bear. I don't know, some kind of brown one.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what to. I mean, there are different kinds of.
Yeah, well, I mean, but
I guess like
generally you group them
bears.
by color: brown, black, and then polar.
Yeah. Well,
what color is polar?
Usually
blue.
In cartoons,
Clear.
It's white, but in reality, they're always covered in blood. So
yeah,
they're clear, dude.
You can't see them, dude. Invisible bears.
No,
that's
their
the ultimate killing.
Their hair color is clear.
Yeah.
Oh, so they just look like massive naked mole rats.
Yeah, they're just albino giant raccoons.
Yeah, but bears are spooky.
Trash pandas.
Yeah,
it's like that one video of the dude snowboarding and he starts getting chased by a bear.
Dude, I would freak
He's like
out.
doing it with a selfie. He's like, yeah, and then like in the background you see a bear.
It's like, yeah, just coming after him.
The bears are so terrifying because
says you.
I mean, I wouldn't want to fight a bear, dude. There's no winning against.
No, you only
bear.
gotta fight a. I think a black bear is the ones you have to fight.
I saw
the brown bears. I think you're supposed to play dead or something. Like
I thought it was if it's brown, lay down. If it's black, fight back. If it's
grizzly, get
if it's white,
silly.
If it's
you're
white,
dead.
if it's white, it's it was something funny.
But it's basically
like kiss your
dead.
butt goodbye. Yeah.
Yeah. Polar bear ain't messing around.
Polar bears only attack you to eat you. They're an apex predator. They don't eat any vegetables, period.
Yeah. They think they're apex predator. They haven't met me, dude.
Yeah. That's all they do. And
on
then
top
they
of the food chain.
drink.
I'm not about to get knocked down on
here's
the food chain.
Here's
bro.
my
I'm not
thing,
losing
is like
a
humans,
link.
we gotta make weapons so that we could win fights. Them bears are just like
No, dude, I'm born with this big brain. I'm a win.
I saw a video of a guy. It was probably like a week and a half ago. Supposedly he got eaten and died, but it was he was like doing like, I don't know if it was Facebook Live or what, but he took out his like camera and he was like selfieing himself. He was in like this tall grass. I don't know. I can't remember where it was. It looked like maybe it was in South America or something like that. And like he's just like showing like the background behind him, and then he like stops for a second and like points the thing, and there's a jaguar crouched down like right behind him, and then the video ends. Supposedly it grabbed him and ate him, but
how'd they get the phone?
How did he tell the story?
He didn't tell the story, dude. It was
Facebook told the story on Facebook Live, I guess.
I'll tell you what, dude. I ain't trying to die. Getting eaten is my bottom of the list pick on ways to die.
Really, like getting crushed by like a big old boulder. Ain't like you'd prefer that.
I don't know. Dude.
Let's say like a rock that's real big. You can't outrun it, and you see it falling from the sky, and you know it's gonna land on you, and you just have to like take it. Like you would rather.
I feel like you'd die faster that way. Yeah,
it's called a meteor.
I know that's why you would take it, is because it'd be faster, but. I think the impending doom, like,
okay,
I don't know, like fighting back against a bear.
Let me
or getting eaten by something. Like you can fight, like it's gonna hurt, but I don't know. For some reason, it feels more dignified.
Let me say this: if I'm sitting there and I'm like a prisoner of war, and they're like, "All right, dude, you want to fight this tiger, or
hypotheticals,
or you want to get shot?" Of course, I'm gonna fight the tiger. I mean, yeah,
dude, get shot.
I don't want to be eaten.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be like, all right, we're going to feed you to this thing, but like we're going to tie you up and throw you in here. But if it's like, okay, you can like, if you win the fight, then you're good. Then
if you win the fight, then we shoot you is what happens. I don't think you understand what prisoner of war means.
Well,
I don't know, dude.
Bears,
I feel like my deal would be, all right, I fight this tiger and I win. I get your job.
Nah, dude, you're not in there making deals. Back to Waco.
Real quick, an interesting thing, like if you consider animal morale, like not morale, but morality to be a thing, bears are one of the few predators that will start eating you before they kill you.
Yeah.
So like big cats actually kill you before they start to eat you.
Mm-hmm.
It's where a bear will.
It'll just take some bites
just start
out of you.
Just start eating. Start munching.
While you're
crunch a bunch of crunch.
Yeah. So Waco, back to Waco. So for me, all I've really known about this is that there's a guy named David Koresh that had some type of religious group, a bunch of guns,
a cult or like a church,
Okay. And then there was a bunch of guns, and there's a bunch of guns and a compound involved. That's that's what I know about it. So
yeah.
We're gonna read about this thing, and then we're gonna just touch on a couple things real quick. So we'll start. This is Britannica.com, and this is the Waco Siege, American History, 1993. So Waco Siege, a 51-day standoff between Branch Davidians and federal agents that ended on April 19th, 1993, when the religious group's compound near Waco, Texas, was destroyed in a fire. Nearly 80 people were killed.
Dang, dude.
So the Branch Davidians were founded by Ben Roden in 1959 as an offshoot of the Davidian Seventh-day Adventist Church, which would that be a Mormon?
Seventh-day Adventist? No, they're it falls underneath a Christian thing. I don't want to say like technically because I don't know a ton about it, but I think they do church on Saturday and they don't leave the house that day. I think they're I don't want to say militant in the things that they do, but they do keep a pretty tight set of.
I don't know, dude. It sounds kind of Mormon.
Like regulations. No, I mean they would just be Mormon if it sounds Mormon.
I always thought that they were either Mormon or Lutheran.
I really don't know.
Reason,
if I'm going to be honest, I don't know really anything about the different churches.
No, I mean from what I understand, they're. I mean, I'll take a look, but I know they're. I think, honestly, like holiness type stuff. How it's like they don't go to the doctor and the women don't wear jeans or pants. They wear
jean skirts.
Yeah, they'll fall within this particular like Christian background. I think similarly with Seventh-day Adventists in their adherence to sort of like a more meticulous sort of like code of conduct is required within that. But I think that they still fall within like Christianity or Christendom, I think.
Okay. So let's keep going. So they were established by Victor Haltef several decades earlier. Haltef's group eventually moved to a farm some 10 miles east of Waco, Texas. But by 1962, Roden and his followers had taken possession of the settlement, which was known as Mount Carmel. Whatever. We're not going to start that.
Let's just start calling it Cramel.
Yeah, Kramer. There, the Branch Davidians lived a simple life, preparing for an imminent return of Jesus. However, in the mid-1980s, the group became embroiled in a power struggle, and by the end of the decade, Vernon Howell, later called David Koresh, had become head of the Mount Carmel community. He soon began taking spiritual wives, several of whom were reportedly as young as 11. Allegations of child abuse and Koresh's launch of a retail gun business attracted the attention of legal authorities.
This is a cult.
I mean, it's a church. Okay.
So
they're getting culty again. Like, to be fair, like the Seventh-day Adventists in and of themselves are a Protestant denomination. Again, their primary thing is the whole like.
Yeah, but we're doing spiritual
Sabbath on Saturday. But yeah, this is like the nature of this thing is very culty.
This is very cult. This is very MK Ultra. You know, that type of.
We're doing a
situation.
We're doing a spiritual wife.
Yeah, spiritual wives, dude. Okay. So, I mean, they're like as culty or as, churchy as
you want to look
Westboro Baptist. Like if you,
but they're a cult for sure, dude. There's no way they're not a cult.
Yeah, but they're a church.
Yeah. But they're also a cult.
Yeah. Okay. So, believing that the group was illegally stockpiling weapons, the U.S. Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms obtained. What a strange three things to be the bureau of.
That is literally what I was going to say. Like, how
can I be in
are
that?
Those things?
Can I do that?
How do those things even go?
Do you guys
together?
Name it the Bureau of Rednecks?
Yeah.
For this bureau, do you guys accept
our Southeastern
volunteer,
bureau,
like part-time? Like, when you can be a regular guy but also work for the police department? Yeah. Do you guys do that for this bureau?
Yeah.
Can I
the Bureau of Copenhagen Mountain Dew and Hot Cheetos?
Yeah.
Like,
so the ATF obtained both an arrest warrant for Koresh and search warrant for the compound on February 28th, 1933. More than 70 ATF agents raided the complex. Gunfire erupted, though it is uncertain who fired first. During the 2-hour battle. Yeah, the British fired first. 4 federal agents were killed and more than a dozen injured. In addition, 6 Davidians reportedly died.
Wait, 6?
Yeah.
But there was 80 people who died total. So you're telling me that these Davidians, I mean, I guess they're rednecks, so it's fine. But they out-shooted.
Scroll back up. Is that what it says?
I think that's what it said.
If your federal agents that you're sending in aren't getting it to, like, if they're losing this fight against a couple of Davidians. Oh. Okay.
What do I
do? Just hit that one in the middle right there again. Scroll all the way back to the top.
Yeah, it said 80.
Yeah, nearly 80 people were killed. Okay, let's go back. So
how wild.
6 Davidians reportedly died, dozen injured, and 4 federal agents. That's only 10 by my math, but whatever. Maybe we'll find out some Epsteineries going on here. So,
yikes! Oh my gosh!
Yeah. Nearly 900 law enforcement officials subsequently descended on the compound, including FBI hostage negotiators. During phone calls, Koresh engaged in Bible babble and threatened violence, though he stated that neither he nor his followers were suicidal.
What is Bible babble?
Just think Bible talk, just a bunch of Bible nonsense, either quoting scriptures, talking about God.
You're the Antichrist, you know,
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So this is okay. All right. We're doing a cult.
So
good.
Partly in exchange,
most definitely a cult.
Yeah. Partly in exchange for various supplies, including milk that was delivered in cartons with listening devices, Koresh allowed more than 30 followers to leave. However, it was thought that some 100 remained in the compound. As talks stalled, at one point Koresh said that he would surrender if one of his sermons was broadcast on national radio, but then it failed to do so when it aired.
Cult.
Agents tried various strategies, including turning off the compound's electricity, playing Tibetan chants over loudspeakers, and shining spotlights on the complex to disrupt sleep.
So were they... I'm confused. So he's saying that they don't have a suicide, or they're not suicidal.
Yeah.
But they're also not letting their followers leave.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that their followers wanted to leave, but the elders or whatever, what are they called? Davidians?
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
That's
a particular sect of,
Seventh
or
Day
like an
Adventists.
offshoot of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. So Davidians typically have, I would think, to use that language, probably might have some kind of like Zionist kind of stuff. Going to be real. That.
Okay, so this is definitely a hostage scenario.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, as is most.
So it's a cult. So
yeah, but also most of this is that as well. So
like it'd be different. It would feel a little bit different if it was like, no, we're not going to leave.
But I mean,
but if it's like, hey, you're not leaving.
Yeah. It's the same concept though. Think about like the People's Temple with Jim Jones. Like,
it's a cult.
But it was much more of a church than it was a cult. Like he wasn't.
But it's a cult.
Yeah, it is a cult. But
the
defining attribute of it is that a cultish activity is what ended it. Otherwise, I mean, it was just a big group of people that were claiming to be Christians living together and doing what they considered to be right. People that just had communist and socialist ideology.
And here's the thing with that though, but is you'd be surprised at who all is on like a cult watch list. So like just throwing the word around while again they are exhibiting these tendencies and even like doing that.
Do we have like a technical definition of a cult?
Yeah.
Can we look
there are
that up?
Particular parameters in which that happens. I mean, yeah, like I could.
I was just gonna say, because I'm pretty sure, like there is, it can be a church.
They typically,
and it can also be a cult. But there is a line where you're not going. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna go to church on Sunday and we're gonna do some communion, and then it gets into, hey, guys. So I've been thinking, I need more wives than I currently have.
So what gets into cults primarily, the distinguishable thing, because by definition it's basically a cult is just a religious system that's devoted to a singular person,
a person
or figure, a person or figure. So like Christians could be called a cult because of our devotion to Jesus. So now what it could be, there comes into a few more. So there's a small group of people with beliefs or practices regarded as strange or sinister. And then usually there is with some...
Strange or sinister?
Yes, they do discuss veneration of a particular person, primarily like the leader of the group. And there's usually abuse that is happening, whether it is like physical, verbal, emotional or like sexual abuse. Like there are typically, that's when it falls into what we typically define a cult.
And that's what I'm saying is we're getting into y'all aren't leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And which again, there would have to be some kind of like abuse or trauma or again, the abuse of power influence
is that not
that
what
this person
is?
has over. I mean,
no, that's just my question is like, is that not where we're drawing the line? Is like, hey, you're not leaving. You're staying here.
So when that happens, there are also people like that happens, but just because like that is a thing that happens doesn't mean that like everyone who's in it is down for it.
No, that's what I'm not saying that they are, but that's what I'm saying is if this is a hostage scenario.
Well, even then to say that, well, and we got into some of the other stuff too, though. Like it is certainly a hostage scenario
for some people
now. Yeah. But even then, like with him taking the wives and stuff that are
no, like that wasn't. But that's what I'm saying is
that's like that is where it gets into culty. Like as we understand it. Yeah. But that definition has that word is actually like painting with broad strokes for religious folks typically.
The line that really is crossed between cult and church is who the credit is being given to. So the difference isn't much at all. I mean, both kind of both target audience of people who are desperate and need a savior.
But with the People's Temple, didn't that come to a point where he was like, oh, like I'm the answer?
No,
it didn't. I thought at the end there it was like
no. He was preaching what seemed to be the gospel. Okay. He was mass drugging everyone, but
it was a form of what is called what he was preaching was primarily a form of liberation theology, which started in the Catholic Church in I forget when, but is also taught currently through primarily African American churches now.
But it is the same scenario. You know, Jim Jones was having sex with members and while he was married and stuff like that. So it's a lot of times it seems like it's hard to get into that frame of mind and not end up with some sexual, which is really weird to think about it, honestly, like without some sexual, I don't know if you want to call it preference or fetish or whatever. But let's keep going. So at approximately 6 a.m. at April 19, 1993, the FBI began spraying tear gas into the complex.
There it is. I was waiting for it.
Yep. Soon thereafter, the Branch Davidians began firing weapons for more than 5 hours. Armored vehicles, some of which punched holes into walls, deposited 400 tear gas canisters inside the compound. At 11:40 a.m., the assault ended some 25 minutes later.
How'd the fire start?
Well, we're going to get into that a little bit later. So the Branch Davidians set several fires, and at 12:25 p.m., gunfire was heard inside the compound. Due to safety concerns, firefighters were not allowed into the area for another 15 minutes, by which time the compound was beyond saving. Like that 15 minutes wasn't a well-placed, 15 minutes there.
We can't let you in.
Yeah. While 9 people managed to escape, the rest died.
I mean, I wouldn't let firefighters in there, If there's guys with guns inside.
Yeah, but if you're trying to get rid of
this. They just got tear gassed. They just got, smoked out by actual smoke. Not like,
But
weed.
you also
redefining
the
term, you don't want no smoke.
So let's read this though. Investigators ultimately found 75.
That's my point.
Investigators ultimately found 75 bodies, 25 which belonged to children. A number of the deceased have been fatally shot, including Koresh. While some of the wounds appeared to be self-inflicted, others did not. So
they were shooting each other, dude. That's where it feels. Themselves. That's where it feels. You said self-inflicted, others were not.
Yeah. So
that's where it feels culty. Is like, the time has come, brothers, and then it's like, oh, but I have a family.
So the government's handling of the situation drew sharp criticism, and Reno later expressed regret for authorizing the raid. While the government long maintained that it was not involved in starting or spreading the fire, in 1999 it was revealed that some of the tear gas used by the FBI was flammable. We lost a couple lines there. it was flammable. Later that year, Reno appointed Josh Danforth, a lawyer and former Republican senator, to investigate the raid. His probe, which concluded in 2000, found that the U.S. government did not cause the fire, nor did it shoot at the compound. Regardless of such findings, some people view the Waco siege as governmental abuse of authority, and it spurred the growth of militias. In 1995, on the second anniversary of the raid, Timothy McVeigh carried out the Oklahoma City bombing, which killed 186 people.
What a weird concept.
Yeah.
What's so funny is that with some of that stuff even feels fake, those types of bombings. And like we talked about some with shootings and stuff, like school shootings, where it's like, how did they have those trees cut before the thing? But is like, you'd think that for a group of people who are trying to get the people, society, to wake up, that by bombing people, you would do the opposite, and they would confide in more government regulated security like protocols and more stuff like that. It just seems kind of counterintuitive to what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely is. It's definitely fun to think about, and it's definitely, strange to look at some of this stuff as, what could be considered like a false flag or something like that, or, an opportunity attack, if you will. So, I mean, there's tons of documentation that false flags are something that we have been involved in forever, since the beginning of the nation.
Ever.
Well, I mean, the Boston Tea Party was a false flag. So since the beginning of the founding of the country, pretty much. And, I just think it is interesting to see, some of the ties that some of these like cult leaders have to intelligence, such as like Manson, Jim Jones, the Finders cult. Like, there's almost all of them that are within that same time period. They end with a bunch of the people dying, and almost always the leader dies or kills themselves as well. The only one that really doesn't is Charles Manson. And according to the evidence that it does suggest his intelligence ties, if that is a camp that you fall into, then the evidence does suggest that he would have been someone that was trained to do the experiment and not so much experimented on, if that makes sense. So that would, kind of point to the reason that guy's still alive while everybody else isn't. If that's something that you want to entertain, with this, this is the first time that I'm literally looking at this. So for me to say that this guy has ties to U.S. government or anything
this feels like it could be its own thing to me.
Yeah.
Out of everything, this feels like it could be its own separated thing. I mean, they're doing their own thing. It looks suspicious. So the government shows up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that that's how exactly what's happening, because I'm always down to hear a good conspiracy or whatever you want to call it. But this does feel like something that could just have been like
something that does feel off with it, though, is how after the probe, it says that the government did not open fire on the compound,
but they tear gassed it.
Well, yeah, but it also said earlier that they opened fire on the compound.
Yeah,
and not only that, but like drove things into it.
Yeah,
and it's like, I just have a really hard time if your guys got shot.
Yeah.
Like if government folks or whoever they were got shot, that they're not firing back. That just doesn't seem like it could be correct. Again, that's after whoever that dude is looking into.
How big was this compound? Can we look up maybe some pictures of the compound?
Yeah, let's look up.
Because I'd like to see, because it is entirely possible that in a situation like this, even if you get shot at, in a hostage scenario, unless you have a way to take down the hostage taker,
it's a pretty big compound.
Like, unless you have a way to take them out, you're usually not supposed to shoot back because it will just escalate the situation more. I mean, dude, this is a interesting setup they have here.
So why would the real question is? It says in that article that the Branch Davidians are the ones that started the fire.
Yeah,
which is also one of those things that lines up pretty
culty.
Well, just
do they
weird
have is that a swimming pool in there?
I don't think so.
It looked kind of like a big
it
old
looks like a
swimming
water
pool.
reserve.
Oh, maybe so. Oh, see, you got the cult mind, dude. You know what it is.
Oh, I know what's up.
I'm out here thinking recreationally, and you're thinking about.
I'm thinking there. I mean, look at this place, dude. This place is set up to be their own little, like, apocalypse shelter.
Yeah.
They got trenches. That's not what they're for, but they're obviously adding underground things here. I mean, that's a hallway for sure. Yeah, that unfinished area.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're still building stuff. This wasn't finished.
Yeah, they were building a basement right there. It looks like something.
Now,
This is the other side of it.
Yeah.
Just another view.
Personally, I think it's entirely possible that they did not open fire, and the reason that the use of vehicles was so important was to be able to breach the walls to get the tear gas inside without having to risk anyone getting shot. That's why they used the armored vehicles. Because now here's my question. It said that the tear gas was released before the fire took place, right?
Yeah.
Now this is what doesn't make sense to me, is why tear gas a place and not send in like SWAT or something? Because that's usually how it goes. You tear gas them or whatever, and you want to strike in that moment of confusion and them being disoriented. So
because it was known that these, like it said, they were running
He
like
owned
a gun
and ran,
a thing,
like a weapons.
I mean, it just
thing. So
like
it just
my whole thing is like, why tear gas the place if you're not sending someone in? I mean, usually you do wait to see if they run out, but at the point that nobody runs out, why was nobody going in? Why was it like, oh, I guess we just got our armored vehicle sitting inside now?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So
let's go to that second tab.
But I mean, with how many windows there are and how big this compound is, I think it's entirely possible that they were taking pot shots at agents that were approaching the building.
Yeah. Let's read real quick about David Koresh himself. So David Koresh, born Vernon Wayne Howell, August 17th, 1959, was an American cult leader and musician who played a central role in the Waco siege of 1993. Isn't it also weird
I think
that all of these guys play some role in the entertainment industry?
I think it's the glasses.
At the time, for sure. Well, even then, this happened way later than.
Yeah.
I think it's the glasses, so but this looks like someone we know.
It does, dude. What the heck, bro? Somebody who. So,
like I said, I think it's the glasses.
Yeah,
but I could be wrong.
You don't think so?
I see it. It's in there, dude. It's kind of like in the movie Hook when you got to do when he pushes his face back. Oh, there you are, Peter.
I can't tell if he disagrees or if he just doesn't want to comment on it.
I'm gonna leave it alone.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying anything other than he just looks like the guy.
Yeah. So, coming from a dysfunctional background, Koresh was a member and later a leader of the Branch Davidians movement. Okay, so we already know this stuff.
But the only difference is this guy definitely looks like he never made it out of the 70s.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been holding it back, dude. It's just. I've been trying to not, and it just finally hit. Oh man! And all of a sudden, it just took root. That resemblance is strong.
So let's go to early life.
I really did just try to hold it in and just not give into it when I can.
Yeah. So depending on how if I'm feeling squirrely or not, we may or may not put a side by side up for this.
Oh man.
All right.
Hey, how are we looking on audio?
Is it still recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got about 20 minutes, so I want to, or less, so I want to get as much as. So we're going to jump into the middle of the early life. He described his early childhood as lonely due to his poor study skills and dyslexia. He was put in special education classes and nicknamed Vernie by his fellow students. Koresh dropped out of Garland High School in his junior year. When he was 19 years old, Koresh had an illegal sexual relationship with a 15-year-old girl who became pregnant.
Dang, dude, what?
He claimed to have become a born-again Christian in the Southern Baptist Church and soon joined his mother's church, the Seventh-day Adventist Church. There he became infatuated with the pastor's daughter, and while praying for guidance, he opened his eyes and allegedly found the Bible open to Isaiah 34:16, stating that none should want for her mate. Convinced this was a sign from God, he approached the pastor and told him that God wanted him to have his daughter for a wife. The pastor threw him out, and when he continued to persist with the pursuit of the daughter, he was expelled from the congregation. 1981, Koresh moved to Waco, where he joined the Branch Davidians, and then went on to kill everybody and himself.
Dang, dude.
Pretty much. Yeah, so let's go to the next tab real quick. This is something that we're probably going to do a two-part a two-parter on. So go ahead and scroll up. So I want to say that this is like the 10 things that you didn't know about Waco or something like that. This is from PBS. And so let's scroll through it a little slowly just so I can see if there's anything. Yeah, so nobody knows who shot first. We already knew that. We're only going to do the titles of these things. David Koresh wasn't his real name, which we already knew. Told his followers that he was a Messiah, but he may not have believed it himself. So
cult?
Yeah. The Davidians thought the devil rules the world.
There it is.
The FBI slipped listening devices into the milk cartons.
Hey, how about that? Hey, how about milk?
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened to milk, dude? All these cults using milk. Now people don't even want to drink it anymore.
Hey, how about let's put a listening device in something they're gonna use,
so it can listen to their.
That's
and also they'll throw it away.
Yeah.
Hey guys, great idea. Let's put our listening devices in the wrapper on this guy's Big Mac. He'll never find it, and it'll stay in his house long enough for us to listen. No, dude, not a lamp, not some crate, not whatever.
How you gonna get a lamp in there?
Dude, you ever played prop hunt, bro? It's not that hard.
Yeah, but you couldn't just be like, he wanted milk, dude. He didn't want, like, you couldn't be like, hey, here's a
lamp.
Here's 12 jugs of milk, and we thought you could use a lamp.
I got an idea. Let's put a bunch of dudes, okay, inside of a big wooden horse.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just ring the doorbell and we'll run away.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good idea because they would bring the horse in and be like, this is a beautiful gift.
Yeah.
Look at this artistry and carpentry. How amazing is this horse? And then once they bring the horse inside, all the dudes could jump out and attack them.
Yes.
Or they would go out there and be like, the fuck is this big horse?
This big horse, I'm gonna burn this horse to the ground.
Dude,
I don't want your gift.
I really think that would have been such a better story if all the guys inside got stabbed because they just poked holes through it. Like they just with some spears
through some solid wood.
Or if it was in Louisiana, they'd be like, this is a bonfire. And just light it up, dude. We went and looked at the bonfires. That's a big thing, like for the New Year in Louisiana.
Imagine
down one of the rivers, they build like all these
big ones, yeah.
And they do like different designs. Like somebody had a pack of Cools. For real.
Imagine if imagine how scary it must have been to get inside that horse. It's like, oh, what if they set it on fire, dude?
Yeah.
I bet everyone was thinking that. What if
they just wheel it back down the hill?
Or like, what if they just kind of lock us in here and set us on fire, dude?
It's the risk they were willing.
Imagine the one guy that's like, we need to jump out now. And then everyone else is like, shh.
Dude, you're going to tell me one guy in that thing didn't have a hammer or a crowbar to be able to start getting out of there or something like that happen?
No.
So let's keep going for a little bit.
He had an axe. No, they all had buckets of water, dude. Duh.
So right here we have 2 FBI teams clashed over how to handle Koresh, and it spilled over into name calling. I don't care. Koresh repeatedly told investigators he wasn't planning a mass suicide. Many in the FBI believed him. So I think that
I think that's the part that makes this the most believable for me, is that he's like, look, I don't want to die, but also it's my place.
Don't want to die. Gotcha.
So
got him.
The FBI told Attorney General Janet Reno that children were being abused at Waco, even though it wasn't true. Keep on going. Anything to get what you want done.
The dividend.
So the Davidians started the lethal fire. So audio recording. This is what it says. So Davidian 1, start the fire. Second Davidian, got some fuel around here. Third Davidian, right here. Peter Boyer, the audio bug tapes from the morning of the fire were the critical evidence. Fourth Davidian, did you pour it yet? Fifth Davidian, did you pour it yet? I haven't yet. David said, pour it, right? Did he? Do you want it poured? Come on, let's pour it. Do you want to pour it already? We want some fuel. I've got some here. We should have gotten more hay in here. I know. This sounds fake.
But also who says that?
Yeah. Who's having this conversation? It's like, dude, if you're going to light a thing on... This sounds like a conversation that a bunch of middle schoolers have that are like trying to steal some candy out of a grocery store.
And they don't want to sound like they're trying to steal the candy.
Yeah. But for real,
put it in your pocket. No, you put it in your pocket.
But like, isn't this the kind of stuff that people catch on? Like, it's
Always.
as if you can't catch a good conversation on a surveillance device,
dude.
Like, if you do that, these are the. It's like when you put it close to someone, it makes their brain turn into mush, and they start talking like this.
Hear me out. Surveillance doesn't exist. That's the conspiracy. So when have you ever seen a microphone
Here's the thing,
that
dude.
can transmit wherever that's the size of a quarter or smaller? When have you ever seen it?
I've seen it.
I've
You've
seen
seen
them.
it?
I've purchased them.
You've purchased them?
No. Well, yeah. Here's the thing.
Well, you heard it here, folks.
Is when
He's spying on Dustin.
Well, no, I learned it when the government contacted me about changing the batteries out in the birds during quarantine.
Dude,
that's one of the birds fell down, and I opened it, and I found the microphone and everything. So I've seen them. Yeah. Because they forgot to change the batteries, which is why we're in quarantine.
Yeah, of course.
Birds aren't real.
Birds aren't real. Have you ever seen a bird?
Not up close.
I've only ever seen dead birds.
So these definitely exist because you can buy these things off eBay, bugs and stuff like that.
All right, let's buy one, dude. Let's buy one and let's put it in here since we're the only ones in here, and we'll test it and see if we start talking like dummies.
I've seen voice activated ones in person.
Okay.
Like a...
Did you ever find one in your house?
No.
I want to find one in my house.
I don't.
I really do.
I really don't, dude.
I want to find one in my house just so that I can be like, I'm important. You know?
Yeah.
Well, if you find it by that time, you're pretty close to dead. So
yeah. So the next one is most of the Davidians died of smoke inhalation after the fire began. Keep going down. If there's anything else. Nothing. So one of the main reasons I wanted to bring this up is because there is that series Waco that came out on Netflix, and Netflix
is it a documentary?
No, it's a series. They've been killing it with stuff like that.
Is it like a TV show based off of it?
Yeah, they had the Unabomber one.
I'm gonna have to watch that then, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They had the Unabomber one. What else? They had a few different ones that came out.
That was a TV show.
Yeah.
That wasn't a documentary.
Yeah, Manhunt, the Unabomber is one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right.
And then I guess you could take Mindhunter as well, and that's sort of one too. But yeah, so this is up here. I haven't watched any of it yet. I'm going to, and I figured learning some stuff about it beforehand would be something good. And for people that are on quarantine, maybe this is some reference that you could use to learn a little bit as well. We're definitely going to do a 2-part one to this. There were some tabs that I had up there that we're suggesting.
I just realized something. Maybe the surveillance device listens to the conversation and then just tells you the conversation. Yeah. So it'd be like if you and Dylan were having a conversation and I was listening, and then as you were talking, I turned around, I was like, hey, blah, 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 blah. And then I told the guy, and then I was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I think that's how it works. Yeah. Because that's the only thing I can think of. Otherwise, if you're worth recording by government standards, you're probably just not that smart.
Yeah, I guess.
Is the only other thing. Because you're right, Dylan. Everyone, if you're getting surveilled, you're talking half, of whatever.
Yeah, you'll have somebody on. Somebody will be on surveillance, and they'll be like, "Man, I wonder what kind of salad I should get tonight." And they haven't eaten a salad in like 12 years.
Yeah, they do that. But also, if you're getting surveilled, your lifespan is not nearly as long as the national average.
It's like Death Note, dude. Yeah. That's for sure.
No, dude, you are not.
You ain't making it much farther.
You've got a couple more years if you play your cards right.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, just.
No, I think I could.
You're not hitting that median age for sure.
I'm gonna just go T-pose in the park so that I'm out in the open.
Yeah. Well, dude, it is 5:22. Don't you have to leave?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Well, we're gonna go ahead and close. This is a fun one, Dylan. Thank you for returning. Skynrick, thanks for having a mullet.
Yeah, I tried.
Yeah, and I'm gonna thank myself for being spicy, bro.
Yeah, thanks for being spicy.
So
that's the one spicy meatball.
If you want to follow us on social media, you can follow me on Twitter. I am at TBAT Quinn.
And mine is at TBAT SKINERICK.
Yeah,
that's it.
Dylan.
You can follow me. It's just my name, Dylan Puckett, DYLANPUCKETT. That's where you can find me. I think I follow the both of you. You can find me through there, or you can just look me up. It normally doesn't have anything to do with the stuff that we're talking about, but if you want to see what's in my head or what's going on, what I'm thinking.
If you're interested in theological discussion and such, I would imagine that, I'm not that active on Twitter, but I would imagine your pages would have that stuff in it.
Mm-hmm. Primarily, yeah. Discussions from a spiritual standpoint or theological standpoint, just lots of the thoughts are not my own.
Your boy's active.
It's good.
Yeah. Skynrick, how many tweets you got now?
349.
349 tweets, dude.
How long have I had this account?
Almost a year, dude. We're coming up on a year.
No, but I haven't had it since we started. I started my thing after Hawaii.
Are you practicing safe texts?
Yes.
Well, let's get out of here, man.
Dropping the band hammer on some fools.
Yeah. Bottomless thoughts, they call them.
Bottomless. Yeah, dude. What?
Bottomless thoughts.
You need to quit saying that.
I don't like that. I got no comment.
Well, let's get out of here, man. We'll see y'all next week. Thank you for watching.
Okay, love you, bye.